Hi and welcome to this next video where I'll be unboxing and building this mini quad from FunBikes. It's an 800 watt 36 volt electric quad bike that I've bought for my son. I've never bought anything from FunBikes before. I'll leave the links down in the descriptions box to who they are. And basically my aim is to see how difficult this is to build. The description on the website said that it would need some assembly, and I don't know how much assembly it requires. Do I just need to pop the wheels on and go, or am I building it almost from scratch like Lego? Who knows? So stay tuned and I'll give a summary at the end. Thanks. So here it is then, unboxed, and I've removed the bubble wrap, and you can see that it was really well packed because they've built this steel frame around it to keep everything in place and secure from bumps and bangs during transit. So what we'll do then, we'll take off this top of this steel case and we'll get the instructions out and everything. I assume all the bits and bobs are going to be in this box, so we'll have a look at that in just a second or so. So there we go. Now this is a heavy little quad bike. I'm going to guess that's going to be mainly the battery that's given its weight. It was hard enough to get it into this position. So rather than wrestle with it and try and get this bottom bit of steel out, I'm just going to kind of build it around that steel until it's on its wheels. Now, as I'd said in the intro, I was curious to see how far down it was taken apart and how much I was actually going to have to build. Now already I'm fairly surprised to see that the back wheels and axle is already on and in place. So we'll just get our instructions out there. We've got the instructions, a bag of bolts and a bag of tools. Now I've got my own tools that I'm going to use just because using ratchets is a whole lot easier than it is fiddling with these little open-ended spanners that they give you. So, you know, at least it's there. That's the main thing. Now looking at the bolts, there's actually not as many as I thought there was going to be, which can only tell me that most things are put in place. And also I can see in and around the place there's bolts where the things are going to be attached, so you don't have to rummage around these bolts going, oh, which size do I need? It's all kind of here, ready for you, so that's definitely a bonus. So with just a quick flick through the instructions, it doesn't seem that I've got to do much more than attach the rear shock, the front shocks, then attach the tie rods to the wheels to the frame, and then add a couple of little details, obviously handlebars and a little crash bar at the front there. It really does look fairly straightforward, so without further ado, we'll get cracking and we'll see how far we get. I can definitely imagine having a spare pair of hands would probably come in handy, so if you've got someone to help you build this, that might be an option. Now in the instructions it does say to move from the back to the front, but what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm actually going to put these handlebars on first, because that'll stop them flopping around all over the place while I'm trying to lift the bike and and use my hands to hold things in place and not having to hold these in place. If that becomes an issue later on, I'll then take them apart and I'll duly let you know that the instructions say do it in that order for a specific reason. And I think finger tight will do for just now, just in case there is a reason why I have to take them out. I mean, there's no point in setting them all perfect just yet. I mean, the whole thing's not upright, so that'll do. It keeps them out of the road. Now, since we're going to be working under the front of the bike and everything's quite low down and probably quite difficult to see, I would suggest, I mean, I'm lucky, I've got one lying around because I'm doing quite a bit of woodwork building at the moment in another set of videos. But I've got wood lying around whereby we can pop it up and that's pretty secure there to put at working height so that I can see what's going on and I'm not underneath there faffing around and fiddling blind. So I think we'll pop the wheels on next. Actually, scratch that. I think we'll do the front suspension next. This would be another little instant where that second person would come in gold. With the suspension at the back and front done, and the handlebars done, that is now all the bolts that they give you in the packaging used up. You may not be able to see from where you are, but the bolts for the tie rods and for the wheels to lock them all in place, they're all here on, ready and waiting. So without further ado, I'll get the wheels on. And then onto the tie rods. And that is essentially it. So now we realise we didn't need to take the handlebars off or anything, so we can kind of lift them up and set them where they need to be. I mean, this probably won't be fully done properly until I get my little boy sat on it and, you know, we see where he likes everything. But for now, at least we can get him tightened down a bit. And really, that's it. I mean, again, I think before I let him go on it, I'll probably have a little faff around and a fettle with the brakes, make sure I'm happy with how everything's working. You know, kids. So the last thing to do would be to pop the seat on here. Okay, slightly more fiddly than I expected it to be, but you actually don't need the seat to come on and off with this. There's not really any reason for it. Now, I said I was finished, but actually what I completely forgot was the crash bar for the front, the little bull bar, little bit of protection. So we'll quickly whip that on, shouldn't take too long. And that was the finishing touch. And there we go. That wasn't too traumatic at all. It went together quite nicely. Didn't really take too much effort. Well, that wasn't too difficult at all, to be fair. I think it took me around about 20-25 minutes, I think. So not too bad. I would definitely say another person helping you would be handy. Sometimes lining up those bolts through the suspension, especially with the weight of this little quad, which is quite surprising actually, was a little bit tricky. I managed, you know, not too bad, but if you haven't done much mechanical stuff before and you're not a massive DIYer, then someone who's got your back might help. I would definitely say if you're going to be buying this for a Christmas or a birthday present, make sure it's built before the event. I think the last thing that you want is your kid running around you while you're trying to build it and you know, hurry up dad, hurry up dad, hurry up dad, I just want to ride it dad, I just want to ride it. I think this needs to be, you know, fully charged up and ready to go, because, you know, it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure my little lad will absolutely love it. Maybe I'll throw an update video somewhere along the line of how he's getting on it, but I'm quite excited to let him see it as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.